Okay, good afternoon. My name is Paul Sevilla. I'm a librarian here at the Livermore Public Library, and welcome to our program this afternoon. And I'd like to thank the Friends of the Livermore Public Library for sponsoring today's event. And it's an honor for me to introduce our special guest this afternoon. Charles Curtis Blackwell is a jazz poet, playwright, educator, and visual artist. His published plays and poetry include Is, The Color of Mississippi Mud, and The Fiery Response to Love's Callings, among other works. He has also produced 3 spoken word CDs in collaboration with jazz drummer Billy Tolliver. His paintings have been shown from coast to coast and have received multiple awards. Charles was recently the guest of honor at Millersville University in Pennsylvania at their Disability Pride and Arts Festival. Today he's gonna read some of his poetry to us, and please welcome Charles Curtis Blackwell.
I'm gonna just be myself. I'm partly blind. I don't have any side vision. I don't have any tunnel vision. I got a side peripheral vision. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna use the paper. This is called. These are the pandemic poems. That's easy to understand. The pandemic poems. There's 3 of them. A moment of thoughts turned sour, a moment which lasts past this hour of ending. Thoughts became tears pounding to the floor. Life looked like death dying, God weeping for reasons beyond belief. A loneliness crawling in darkness of day and night. I kissed the imaginary bars of imprisonment. Still, and another day of isolation. Cry tears, pray prayers, then weep again. Wave hand in air, searching for, only to slide to the floor, crying a soul cry, wondering when will it ever end. Another soul cry, God. Watching the wind, which keeps coming in through the attic, the windows, the roof, and underneath the floor. Not irresistible, but creepy. A fleeting moment of want, as in, I need you, woman, to warm the night. There is no one, just chills that give rise to questions about love. Daylight brings breath to the something of fears. A homeless man standing in want. I feel my heart pumping. I and you, baby. Lover, lover, where are you? chill bumps, which the wind left behind. I am alone. And it is so unfair, so cold to face myself after fears have departed and my heart is submerged in loneliness. So I speak to the wind, and it cries Mary. Okay, so I got labeled as a jazz poet, and it's hard to get out of that. So every once in a while, but I do almost anything and everything. Jazz, love, socio-political, gospel. I've read almost anything, every place you could imagine. Preschool, kindergarten, high school, colleges, prisons, what do you call it, senior citizens, nursing homes, you name it, man. And so it's hard to just stay on track with that one label. But anyway, this is a jazz poem. Boop chop bang, boop 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 boom, boop chop bang, boop boop. Becoming is. The world is, and the world ain't. Is so. Sometimes is ain't nothing. No time for purple questions or colorful melodies, for the night is cold and there is no liquor to warm my soul. Cold wind rattling my bones, dinner plate bearing no change to jingle, and home free. But give me some more ears. Chico Hamilton crossing the river. Chico Hamilton, a man from two worlds. Drumbeat rolls, sticks fly. Drumbeat rolls, sticks fly. Roll on, drummer, roll on, as I make my bed of swollen, dry places. Pink, the color pink, rose through my mind, blinking to that drumbeat. Another cold night. The sun was out discovering who is who. As I make my way across the river, I can see my light come shining. Shine on me. Touch me, woman, and set me inside free. God in mercy be with me. I must have washed these jeans 36 times. Meanwhile, back over the river is deep. The river is long and crossing. Ding, pling, ding, pling, ding, pling and a ding. Class struggling, and in the wheel I know runs elsewhere. This one's solo, straight, no chaser. And many with a hat on running to bring him back on stage. Come on, monk, ruffle my brain. Interrupt sleepless nights and long-awaited cries. Distant moans and quiet sighs. Another ding, another pling and a ding. Monk's elbow rested on a key. Ding, pling, ding. A pebble of water slid down a sheet of glass and collided with another until it reached the bottom of the window. Pain, pain, pain. The dew fell hard against this morning, this mournful morning, causing my train to run past the ghetto and the river's edge. Await time, I say, await. In so soon some sunny shadows, someone else is in pain, and it somehow allows me to be who I am. Monk spinning around on stage, squashed. Monk spinning around on stage, squashed. He was trying to be himself. The sun shines over there. The sun shines over the river in a fluke. Okay, we all remember last year, it was kind of like 1967, 1968 all over again. So this piece is called, like they say in court, they say in the matter of Charles Curtis Blackwell. So they say you go before the court, say, in the matter of black lives, the blood has been spilled. Innocent blood, black's body bruised blood. ancestors' blood from long, long ago. Crying justice. And how just is the mud? See the hands which shed this blood? See how they shake and tremble. These hands, they have a mask to cover up their shame, only to expose their guilt and a nightmare of who they are and what they have become. The stench from this blood continues to rise every time one of the ancestors is murdered. See this blood mixing with mud. See this blood shake and tremble. See this blood swirling upstream, sliding downstream, then exploding. Sonia. When Sonia Sanchez speaks, train locomotive, train locomotive, train locomotive, push, train locomotive, push, shove, train locomotive, push, shove, drive, train locomotive, push, shove, drive, home, train, going, train, go, train, going, train, going, gone, train, going, gone, train, going, 80, 85, miles, per hour, pushing, pulling, tugging, pushing, pulling, 80, 85 box cars, each and every one of them fully loaded with wisdom and understanding. Train locomotive, push, train locomotive, push, shove, train locomotive, push, shove, drive, home. Now, hush, child, and listen. Yes. I think that might. Woo! Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I don't want to. Is that good?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you for coming out. Thank you very much, really.
Thank you.
That's what she said.
Thank you.
Oh, I thought she said ask a question.
Told you. Does anyone have any questions for Charles?
Yeah, I would like.
Go ahead.
A very cliche, basic question. How do you write? How do you come about how do you pen down your thoughts?
Sometime like large print. Sometime I've been, especially with the pandemic, I find myself like waking up in the middle of the night, so I'll get up and write. Not all the time, but I, kind of feel like, doing it, get up and write it, and write them big like so. And sometimes I also use the TV as designed for the visually impaired, and I can write, regular, print, and because it enlarges it, and I put the paper underneath, And the thing, I remember this book. They said some of the best poems are the ones you don't write down. They come to you, and I know I'm a good example. So it might come to me at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm too lazy to get up and write it down. So I just, sleep can be nice, And so, but when I do get up, it's I kind of capture it, and write it down,
Anytime it comes to you, you just pen it down. That's your technique. What's your technique? Like, just the thoughts come to you and you just pen them down?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's something in me. I think I can write almost any time. Some people have to have a certain something. They want their coffee. They want to get the nice meal. They want to put on the music and all this. I think I can write almost any time. Some people talk about when you're depressed, that's the best writing. Not for me. If I get depressed, I don't think I want to write. I've tried sometimes I've written some stuff, you know, being depressed or sad, you know, and you know, you try to use it as therapy to get out of the situation, you know. But I don't, you know, usually if I'm really on an upbeat note, I remember years ago I could write 25 pages a day easy. Now it might be 5.
It's good enough. And one last question. What's your inspiration? What inspires you to write what you write?
That's a good one. I was doing art, and it's kind of like, well, one part is like inside of you producing the art, and that could influence me in terms of the writing. And then other times it's like I'm doing the writing, and that helps me to produce the art. And then after a while, you kind of run out of, you know, self motivation, and so it's like a good theater play, jazz, music, you know, the dance performances, you know. So the inspiration is kind of like that's kind of a philosophical thing, because does it come from outside? Does it come within? Does it merge? You know. So it's all kind of things that can connect it to create that inspiration, you know. So I think with the creative person, it's like this thing, you know, we're trying to grab on the life, trying to exist, trying to cope, you know. And I mean, we all have other problems too, you know, but I mean, I'm not trying to say don't be a part of it, but you know, it's kind of like, I was telling youth, I was working with youth last year, I said, look, grow to a point to where you don't let capitalism govern your life. You govern your life, and you govern the capitalistic system that you deal with. And that way you can live. I was never a member of the Black Panther Party, but I knew a lot of the people, and they had a thing in there, they had a 10-point party platform, and one of the demands, they said, the right to determine your own destiny. And that says a lot.
Thank you. I just want to introduce the gentleman sitting next to Charles here. His name is Jeff M. Giordano, and well, this is his intro. So Jeff Giordano leaps out of bed every day for the creative life, loves to ask deep questions, and has fantasies about riding on the back of trash trucks in every country. Interesting.
Riding on the back of?
On the back of trash trucks in every country. His deep interest in psychology, anthropology, and passion for diverse cultures led to film school at the University of North Carolina School of the Arts, School of Filmmaking, and Giordano became the first documentary directing major at the university. Jeff's thesis film, The Sheriff, won 2 awards: Director's Choice at the Black Maria Film Festival and a special jury award at the Provincetown International Film Festival. His recent film includes Passion is the Money, Romantic Chorus, and The God-Given Talent, The Creative Life of Charles Curtis Blackwell, which won the Disability Justice Award at Superfest 2020. And this is his film. Jeff, tell us about the film that you, The God-Given Talent.
Sure.
Tell us about that.
With the film you mentioned, Passion is the Money, which was filmed. Passion is the Money was filmed between 2015 and 2018, and that's when I met Charles through a mutual friend of ours by the name of Vince Storti, and he was a poet, literary publisher, arts organizer in the Bay Area, and for many years in San Francisco, he ran a poetry series, an open mic once a week called the Yakety Yak Poetry Series, and he's published many poets and artists in his literary magazine called the North Coast Literary Review, and Charles is one of the poets he published. when Passion is the Money began as a project, Vince decided to include a lot of poets that he knew personally, and that's how I met Charles. And Passion is the Money is more of an ensemble portrait of poets, artists all over San Francisco and the East Bay. And there was quite a few scenes and footage left over from that project of Charles's interviews and poetry readings. So my editor and I, Aaron Gwynn, decided to make a film just about Charles. And that's how the God-Given Talent film began. And I accompanied Charles to various poetry readings and art shows and hours of interviews, almost probably cross-examinations, psychological kind of dives into his psyche and background and creative process. So it's been quite an adventure. And recently we were at Millersville University in Lancaster County in Pennsylvania for a big event for a disability arts festival where they showed the film, and we attended different classes as guests at the university. And there was also an open mic on campus, and it was a really wonderful experience to meet so many students and staff, and to really celebrate the film and Charles's work, and including his paintings. I have some questions for you, Charles, that the students and staff at Millersville had came up with, and we got into some of these, but I wanted to ask you a few while we have some time here. What does accessible mean when it comes to your work? And how do you make your work accessible?
Yeah. That's like being accessible to anybody and everybody, the disabled, the sighted, non-sighted, and try to create different ways so people can, the thing about art, the cultural arts, it can create a community, bring people together. Is a Greek word, a koinonia, bringing people together, creating community. And, my thing is like, I would host an open mic and I would tell people, turn around and meet your neighbor. Because, as long as we're isolated, then what's the purpose of the cultural arts? I mean, yeah, we want to be inspired and encouraged, but, when people come together, start mingling and meeting, that's one way. Like, if a person says, you're at a museum and you wind up meeting people, or maybe you go to a museum because you met someone, it's this person may be totally blind, you can sit there and say, well, hey, there's a big chunk of red on the left, and in between is yellow, and on the other side of that, it's a big chunk of blue, and you kind of create this communication, So my thing is that people will, come together, and I think that's what the cultural arts can do. Be it no matter what it is, dance, music, art, someone might be telling that person, or maybe a person, whatever the disability might be, and then again, you got people that's not disabled but still coming together to create that discussion that will enhance that person's life.
What are the three biggest ideas and changes you would like to see happen in society in the coming months or years?
For this society to depart from the selfish, I, me, arrogance that's so defeating. I'm trying to think of another one. It's really just prevalent in this society right now. The cultural arts can present, but at the same time, it's a lot of this I, me. Kind of funny. But that's trying to do away with some of this I selfishness. That's a hard one.
With the film being titled The God-Given Talent, can you speak about your spiritual evolution and how that affects your work?
It's kind of like this: creative things are cultural things, and cultural things are creative things, and creative things and cultural things are spiritual things. I realized that God gave me this talent. I thought it was all over. I lost my eyesight. I was an art major in college. I thought it was all over. I thought I was going to be an invalid. And I thought it wasn't the blindness. It moved from one eye to the next. It's what they call an edema, and because of a concussion from the accident that I had. And so I thought it was going to continue on to where I would be totally blind. That was my biggest fear, and I was just at a point of giving up. And so it's like God stepped in, and now, you know, people say, wow, you know, the guy at the prison told me, he said, man, you know, you really been an inspiration here. And I said, oh, okay. I mean, here these people are locked up, and I can go behind bars, and they tell me that I've been an inspiration to them, you know. And so it's like, there's a poem, here you go. In dreams, God moves. In our hour of peace, we see the things understood by God. By God, we come to learn of God, of self, of how precious his love is, of how needful we are to love.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
You too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, thank you.